Right, so this lesson, as you know, we are focusing on the 2016 exam paper report section. The report is 11 marks and the total for the database is 21 marks. So it's important that we get this right because the report is clearly worth half of the marks. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a query and turn that query into a report. Now, please make sure that you have your CARS database open and make sure obviously it's saved to your P drive, as you should be doing every lesson. That is your responsibility, and make sure you're getting in good practice for your exam. Make sure please there's a relationship created between these two tables as there would have been in previous lessons. So make sure we go to database tools, we select relationships. Okay, you can see that the relationship is created between my two databases. If this relationship is not there, then the report and the query will not work. So please be careful of that. If you need to do it, pause this video now and quickly create a relationship. Now, so what we need to do is these reports can be a little tricky. Okay, it's taken me 2 or 3 goes to follow the criteria and make sure that it's right. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of little tricks to make sure that you are following the correct guidelines and you're getting one step ahead of the game. Now, in your exam, you have only 2.5 hours. And in that 2.5 hours, you may have 6 or 7 tasks to do. Plus, you have to read through the exam paper. So you will only have probably 15 minutes, basically, per task. So now, let's go to create, and we're going to create a query in design view. Now, the reason why we're going to do this is because it says produce a report which contains a new field called delivered price, which is calculated at run time. Run time is a query. Okay, so what they're trying to do there is they're trying to confuse you slightly, because rather than it saying contains a field delivered which is created during a query, it says run time, because what it is, you're going to run the calculations in a new field in query during that time. So I'm going to go to query design and I'm going to select S16 cars. We will need the S16 distributors, but not at this current moment in time. So I'm just going to keep that one aside for the moment. Right, so add, close, double click up here, drag all your fields down. Now, so it says contains a new field called delivered price, which we're going to do, but right now this field will calculate the cost price of the car plus a standard delivery charge of €200. Now, I do apologise, my database is defaulted to English sterling, okay, because my Microsoft program is from England and my computers from England, so please ignore the currency for now, but obviously in your computers it should be defaulted to euros. Right, so I'm going to extend this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get the cost price and we need to add on 200 for a delivery. So first of all, we open up, now all mathematical operations and calculations go in the parentheses. So open up your square brackets, type in cost underscore price, close the square brackets, add 200. Now, when you click down here, it's going to say EXPR1. That is just a default name for your new field, but we want our own name. So our own name is delivered underscore price. Now, always please check your spelling, because obviously you don't want to do anything wrong and lose marks. So, delivered price, and it's calculated €200. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to run my query. Now, I know my query will work, and the reason why I know it will work is because when I go over to the delivered price, you're going to see that it has an extra 200 on it. Okay, an extra, as you can see there, there's 1100. Okay, sorry, 11,000 with an extra 200 on. Right, so Now, the next thing we need to do, and this is where we need to be a little bit careful. So it says, show only the records where the country is France and the cars have not been dispatched. Okay? As you can see in our database here, we don't have a field for country. So what we need to do is we need to go back to view, because you can always click between the two views. Okay? And this is where we need to bring our distributors table over. And you can see the relationship is created. You can see there's a relationship between the two databases and they can communicate. Now, I'm going to select country and drag it over. Now, this is where we need to get one step ahead of the game, because if you read, you're going to see here it says, show only fields VIN, model, power, engine size, cost, price, colour, port and distributor, and with the delivered price as their labels fully visible. When you go on to your report, you're going to notice there may be a couple of fields that are not there, and you're going to have to go back to your query. Obviously, this is a complete waste of time. So we're going to check our fields now. Okay, I have VIN, I have model, I have power, I have engine size. I'm going to go along. I have cost price, I have colour, but I don't have port. Okay, now port is here, so I'm going to drag it down just in between these two here, and you can see it's been added. Okay, so we've got port, we've got colour, and we have, do we have distributor? We have distributor, and we have delivered price. Okay, so those are all the fields that we need. Right, so right now what we need to do is we need to follow the query. So it says, show records only where the country is France and the cars have not been delivered. A very simple multiple criteria query. So country here, France. Then dispatched, as you know, it's a tick box. So we're just going to type no. Right, I'm going to run my query. And my query's been successful. Okay, so we've got model, we've got power, and we can see that there's the port, and there's the country, and none of them are being dispatched. So, now we need to move on to our report. So as you can see, I've got one step ahead, and I know all of the fields that I need are there, they're present. Okay, so I'm going to save my query now, and also to save time, always look at what they want you to call the report, because basically when it comes to the report, you can see that there is a heading, so we can actually name our report. So what we're going to do is we're going to close our query. We're just going to save it first, and I'm going to call it the heading for my report. So dispatch, oops, sorry, dispatch, manifest, open brackets, port, and the name of the port, and close brackets. Press OK, and that's our query saved. So that means that later I don't need to type up a title or go into design view to type up my title. Okay, now so what we're going to do now is we're going to start creating our report. So we go to report wizard, and we follow the fields that they want. So they want, first of all, make sure you select your query, because you've got three options here, but we want the query because the query is going to move into the report. So we want VIN, model, power, engine size, cost price, colour, port, distributor, and delivered price. Don't need the rest of the fields. So then we go to next. So go next, and next. Now they want the VIN in ascending order. Okay, so as you can see there, sorts data into ascending order of the VIN, okay, which is the vehicle identification number. And then we go to next, and it wants the basically the landscape orientation. So we select landscape, go to next, and the title for our report, as you can see here, is not what we want. I don't know why that's actually come up. So going to go dispatch, and when I go back and check and make sure that I haven't made a mistake of not selecting my query. I have selected my query. Okay. Right, okay, I see what it's done. Always check that just in case that happens. If you're ever in doubt, you can always go back and check, as I just was. I was just in doubt, so I went back and checked. There's nothing wrong with preventing the mistake from happening in your exam. Okay, so port. And finish. Now that's going to create it, would have created our report. So there we go. Okay, so here's my report. Now you can see that these hashtags mean that there's simply not enough room, okay, for the money to go in the currency. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to extend this, is you go to there we are. I'm going to close the print preview, and I'm going to go to view, and I'm going to go to layout view, which works much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my fields here, and you can see that you can actually extend them so there's room for them. So you can fiddle about with those for a little bit. You can always move them around as well. So you can pick them up and you can move them, okay, to make more room and to make more space. Let's move that one over a little bit too much. There we go. And just check your report, make sure all the layout is correct and none of the text has been cut off. So as we can see along here, this has all been cut off. So I'm going to move this along, and I'm going to move these along here as well so we can actually see the numbers. So there we go. Okay, so that looks a lot better, and obviously in your exam you'll be sending the report to print. Okay, that's the end of this video tutorial. There is a second one to show you what to do for the label that has the total number of cars for France. Okay, so the and also to put in your headers and footers. So please click on a second video tutorial if you need help.